Washington may reach a definitive decision regarding a new U.S. military strike against Iran very soon, within the next several hours. This is being reported by multiple sources familiar with the assessments of American and European officials, as well as by Reuters, referencing the statements of a high-ranking European diplomat. According to their information, the attack could take place within the next 24 hours.
And now, more details in our report. You're watching The Glavret Town. I'm your host, Evgeny Seret. Please like and subscribe to the channel.
This is happening against the backdrop of a sharp escalation of the situation around Iran, triggered by mass protests, brutal crackdowns on demonstrations, and large-scale repressions by the regime, which have led to thousands of civilian casualties. Against this backdrop, U.S. President Donald Trump publicly expressed support for the protesters and did not rule out the use of military force if the situation in the country continues to destabilize. According to reports from Reuters, the U.S. administration is currently and actively engaged in discussing various scenarios for a potential large-scale military response, which could specifically include precision strikes on Iran's military and key strategic infrastructure targets if Tehran takes aggressive actions against American interests, military bases, or U.S. allies in the region. Possible triggers for a strike being considered include both attacks by Iran on American military personnel and a further escalation of the internal crisis. These reports are emerging against the backdrop of a series of alarming signals in recent days. Sharp statements from the Iranian leadership, threats of retaliatory measures against the U.S., as well as the movement of American troops and the partial withdrawal of personnel from certain bases in the Middle East due to fears of escalation. In particular, the U.S. has begun reducing its presence at certain facilities in the region, citing the risk of retaliatory actions from Iran. At the same time, military experts emphasize that even if a strategic decision to strike is made, it does not necessarily mean the actual start of a large-scale military operation. It could involve precision-guided, targeted military strikes, much like the specific operations the U.S. has historically conducted in the past against Iranian sites, in response to ongoing threats to regional security. As past experience shows, such actions can sharply increase tensions without leading to long-term stabilization. The White House has not officially confirmed either the date or the format of a possible operation. However, multiple reliable sources have pointed out that the use of force is currently being discussed at the very highest levels and could be implemented in the shortest possible time frame if intelligence assessments clearly indicate the need for immediate action to protect American forces and their international allies. The prospect of a strike is causing serious concern, both in the region and beyond. A significant number of various Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Oman, have formally issued an urgent appeal to the United States through diplomatic channels to completely abstain from engaging in direct military intervention, while simultaneously issuing a stern warning regarding the potentially severe consequences for regional security and global energy markets. If the United States strikes Iran, a swift and devastating retaliatory response from Tehran is expected. High-ranking officials within the Iranian government have repeatedly stated that any direct military strike will be regarded as an act of aggression against a sovereign state and will trigger significant retaliatory actions against United States strategic interests and their regional allies. The situation is further complicated by the complex landscape of widespread ongoing protests within Iran. According to human rights organizations, thousands of people have already died in clashes with security forces. This creates an extremely volatile and unstable environment for any international diplomatic efforts and peace initiatives, and a potential military strike by the United States could easily become the significant catalyst for a new, much larger phase of conflict throughout the entire Middle East. Thus, the likelihood of a new U.S. military strike on Iran in the next 24 hours remains extraordinarily high and imminent. A decision that was, until very recently, regarded as purely hypothetical is now becoming a distinctly tangible and alarming reality. And once again, the world finds itself on the very brink of a potentially devastating and serious military escalation within the Middle East.